Big game day, big shock day. Quote was, wrath of President Trump is going to come down. Pre-game bombshell announcements have been made. Now, this has nothing to do with security around the Super Bowl, although they're reinforcing it, of course. New York Times publishing after attack, New Orleans is rattled but ready for the biggest show on earth. And it is. Of course, going to be looking to protect President Trump, with Iran's supreme leader now coming out and rejecting negotiations, but the story's bigger than that. Saying Trump is not rational, intelligent, or honorable. Wow, must have stole those talking points from Biden, huh? However, if you look a little deeper and you stay out of American media, suddenly Iran ready to negotiate with the U.S., but not under the maximum pressure campaign. You see, that's why you can't trust mainstream media. You have to find multiple references. Secret Service in town, ready to lock everything down, but just before the game, Trump goes scorched earth. His wrath is now felt. Have you heard about the pre-game maneuvers he just made? It's not in relationship to the game. Oh no, it's far bigger than that. That's a story we're going to bring you in just 1 minute. As always, a multitude of news to cover. Understatement, of course. We got the big game today, so we're going to make this early so you can go enjoy it. But I know you've already heard about Biden being, canceled. Security clearance pulled. Stay out of my way. But Trump went further yesterday. I hope you heard it. Antony Blinken, canceled. Letitia James, canceled. Oh, isn't this wonderful? Alvin Bragg, guess what? Canceled. Why did he do that? Why is he locking him down? Of course, the answer should be easy, right? Just like the spies who lied, he's got a bone to pick, an axe to grind, but is it something larger than that? Because everyone's being canceled. The only way you can secure the great continental United States is to secure your intelligence apparatus, to make sure things don't leak out, especially when you're now flying spy planes in places not usually flown, collecting intelligence and ready for a major potential bombshell that's about to be released. Now, a reminder, make sure, if you haven't subscribed to Lisa or you think you're subscribed, double check, make sure your bell is checked all. If you'd like to subscribe to other channels, she'll put a link above. We love you there. We had a mega video go out yesterday. It actually put a smile on your face. We'll put a link to the video. And now, before we roll forward, because I'm not going to want to stop, a very important word from the sponsor brought you this video today.
Well, we've been told all our lives that these wrinkle creams that we are using on our face are the way to look younger. However, according to Dr. John Lake, he is a world-renowned Beverly Hills expert. He has just come out and stated that most of these wrinkle fixes are nothing but glorified moisturizers. Well, recently, Dr. Lake has focused his attention away from these mainstream practices so that he can focus on revolutionary anti-aging breakthroughs. His personal clients, including myself, have dubbed this do-it-yourself technology as the age rewinder method because it literally takes decades off of your skin in the matter of minutes. I want to encourage you to check it out. All you have to do is go to bhmd1.com/haven, and they have this amazing video that's gone viral with over millions of views. Watch it, and you can learn a little bit about this amazing technology and then take that next step to get better skin and better younger looking skin. Again, that's bhmd1.com/haven. If you're on your cell phone, click that more button to get more information or click the link in the description box below. All right, back to the broadcast.
So let's kick in, and we're going to end with this story. A simple line, simple blue line, right? Oh, not so simple. U.S. Boeing RC-135V Rivet joint flew that mission. Look where that mission is. I'll tell you exactly what it means, or what it could mean. And it is a monster maneuver by the Trump administration. One of many, including him now stripping the security clearances of numerous antagonists, including Letitia James and Alvin Bragg, banning them from federal buildings. Oh, he's not going to stop. He's ordered security clearances stripped from a new list of antagonists. Trump said, and it's not only Anthony Blinken, it's not only Letitia James, it's not only Alvin Bragg. Oh no, goes now beyond the dirty 51. He called Blinken a bad guy. Take away his passes. This is to take away every right they have, revoking security clearances, including they can't go into federal buildings. Some calling this ceremonial, non-enforceable. But you see, there's a lot going on he's trying to do right now. Elon Musk and DOGE is setting everybody off. More illegal payments now paused. But back to why, when, what. But it could hamper them in carrying out their official duties, they go on, by prohibiting them from entering courthouses, prisons, and law enforcement facilities in Foley Square and Lower Manhattan, including the Thurgood Marshall and Daniel Patrick Moynihan courthouses, the Metropolitan Correction Center, and the Jacob Javits Federal Building, which houses the FBI's New York field office. They also will not be allowed to set foot in U.S. attorneys' offices for the southern and eastern districts of New York and Manhattan and Brooklyn. It's more an insult and slap in the face than a real deterrent. You so sure? Because it's just beginning. The article goes on, again published in the New York Post. Now he's also looking at Jake Sullivan, who was chief foreign policy advisor for Hillary Clinton during her failed 2016 presidential bid, also helping to foment the Trump-Russia collusion hoax, and also Lisa Monaco, involved in overseeing the lawfare against Trump and coordinating the DOJ response to the January 6th event. She also helped orchestrate the Russia hoax. He is not forgiven, and he is not forgot. Next in line are rumored to be anti-Trumpers Andrew Weissmann, the lead prosecutor in Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation of Trump, lawyer Mark Zed, who represented Eric Carmella, the CIA analyst identified as the whistleblower about that phone call with Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky. And this will have a major impact. But just the beginning. He's got to secure down his apparatus. He has to make sure that everything he's trying to do, prying eyes and listening ears can't hear, and leak it out. Because as we roll forward, things get more impactful, more sensitive. It's only just begun. They've only begun to dig. Now the next is the Pentagon, right? Federal judge blocks Elon Musk DOGE access to critical Treasury payment. An Obama-appointed judge, I believe. And what did this come off of? Letitia James filed a lawsuit to stop. Of course, now we know, well, she stated, DOGE has no authority to access America's private information or to block critical payments. Elon Musk must be the world's richest man. He may be the world's richest man, but he is not above the law. I intend to sue to stop the injustice. Oh, do you? This kind of access by unauthorized individuals is unlawful, unprecedented, and unacceptable. The president does not have the power to give away our private information to anyone he chooses. This kind of access, well, is that insanity to you? It is to me. Elon Musk saying it's insane. How on earth are we supposed to stop fraud and waste of taxpayer money without looking at how the money is spent? But they don't want you to look. They don't want you to dig. They don't want you to know. That's literally impossible. Something super shady is going on to protect scammers. Well, Trump to the rescue. Security clearance revoked. No access to federal buildings. I'd love to watch this. Man, put a smile on your face. Or laughter in your heart, depending. Did you see this? Because the mainstream media is spinning so badly trying to keep up with Trump, they start making huge mistakes over and over again. If this doesn't make you laugh, don't worry. The next clip will.
It highlighted the interrogation techniques against an associate of Osama bin Laden named Abu Zubaydah.
Nice job there. Except your graphic says something different, doesn't it? Obama bin Laden. I've had 2 days of laughter. I can't stop. These they can't keep up. They're spinning. They're flailing. They're faulting everywhere. It's magnificent to watch because they realize they've never had any substance except for hatred, and now they can't keep up. And so you get hard-hitting journalism. Just like this one. I played it on my video yesterday. I'm going to replay it because you deserve to see it, because if this doesn't have you rolling going into the big game with a big smile on your face, I don't know what will.
This is a 19-year-old high school graduate who has used the unfortunate nickname Big Balls online. So that would be one way that we could refer to him. And so we found several notable things, Aaron, one of which is that this individual has founded multiple companies, including one with another unfortunate name, Tesla.sexy LLC.
That doesn't have you rolling in tears, don't worry, because if once wasn't enough, oh no, they continue on just to put more salt in their wound that this is their journalistic integrity now. They're talking about a young adult going by the name of Big Balls. Gosh darn, everything's coming to roost. Okay, now hold on, because we're going to come back to Kara here in a second, but first we just got to get the enjoyment out of them having to say it one more time.
So now you look at these young men who are now in data and in the private information about maybe hundreds of millions of American citizens as young as 19, the big balls here.
The big balls here. Oh, I'm freaking dying. I still can't get past it. I cannot get past it from yesterday. The big balls here. I guess that corresponds with the big game, right? Yes, Elon Musk even stating this was actually on TV. Yes, it was. And it was absolutely joyous. But now let's go back to Kara for a second. Scott Galloway. You see, they can't control themselves. They're in a state of panic. Absolute panic. They're imploding. And here's how it all comes out in the wash.
Newly installed Trump are threatening people for naming their names, just so you know.
I want to know who their names are, and I want to see Democratic governors saying, I'm going to do everything I can in my power to use the full faith and to the letter of the law to put you folks in prison. The new insurrectionist who was elected, I don't believe this is legal, and I'm going to hold the people accountable who are trespassing and part of a coup accountable. We need to go gangster here.
It's almost painful to hear him say that, is it? We need to go gangster here. But before that, of course, this is a coup. They can throw out whatever terms they want. Where are they shut down? No, of course not. I want to know the list of names. Who the hell are you? Who cares about what you want? How dare you speak of the president that we elected in the manner you just did, the new insurrectionists? But they don't stop. They continue on. They keep rolling with this.
They're literally asking me, what do we do to stop him? I was like, I just don't. I was like, you actually don't have the means to do so, because these poor people are in these agencies. And when these idiots come in, these children, these arrogant little pricks.
Because he can't. What did she state? I mean, high integrity journalism again. These arrogant little pricks is what she said. Nice job. Classy. But when you have nothing to report on, because all you could do is spin backwards now because you're being outed, well, of course, we expect some panic. Musk comes out. Swisher and Galloway are threatening talented young software engineers who gave up high compensation for death threats in order to help the American people. Shame on them. Cruel, mean, and deceitful human beings that they are. You see, now you don't get away with it anymore. It doesn't fall on deaf ears anymore. What are these kids doing? All they're doing is finding wasteful spending. They're trimming down government. They're finding where our taxpayer dollars are going, where they should have never went. And if you think this is just Trump, right? Oh, it's just Trump. He's just trying to get revenge. Well, listen to somebody else outside the country. President of Rwanda. I know, shocking. And he shocks CNN with what he states about USAID and the money flowing into his own government. And tell me if you still believe, and I know most of you don't, that Trump and DOGE are doing the wrong thing. Listen to this.
President Trump's unconventional ways of doing things, I completely agree with him on many things.
Even though it will hurt you as Rwanda, which depends on some US aid to fund your healthcare and development.
I think from being hurt, we might learn some lessons to do things we don't do that we should be doing.
To do things, to see things, to learn lessons that we're spending money on, things we maybe shouldn't be doing. And tell me DOGE is heading in the wrong direction. Come on. Dear mainstream media, this is what real journalism sounds like. You actually have to dig and find clips and find things to back up your arguments, you see? Take a lesson. No, don't take a lesson. Keep doing what you're doing. Because we take lessons and we watch and we learn. You see wasteful spending, like giving money to Anthony Fauci. $168,000 identified by DOGE. There's the record. Those kids are doing a pretty good job now, aren't they? In the past 48 hours, HHS canceled 62 contracts worth $182 billion. These contracts were entirely for administrative expenses. None touched any healthcare program. This included terminating a $168,000 contract for an Anthony Fauci exhibit at the NIH Museum. That's what they're there to do. And now Trump has tasked them to start looking further. I want you to go to the Pentagon. We got to find out why they can't pass an audit. Hegseth's saying he's going to pass an audit in 4 years. They got a lot of work to do. And you think this is big money, what they found so far? No, this is influence. This is government building. This is suppression. This is censorship they're digging out right now. All critically important, but the big money. Oh, that sits in the Pentagon now, doesn't it? And that is one of the offices they're heading to next among many, many others. But Trump's not entirely happy with how things are going. Oh no. He is angry that the deportation numbers are not higher. Holman also unhappy. Sources familiar with Trump thinking, and this was again from NBC News. Now, of course, NBC News and the mainstream media is going to try to spin it that there's this big dissension in the ranks. No, these are people that are unhappy with job performance. That's perfectly normal. When one of your number one mandates given was to get illegal immigrants out of the country, then you're going to scrutinize that immensely and intensely. And Kristi Noem and Tom Homan are going to feel the heat of Trump. He's not just going to appoint him and say, okay, go ahead, do your own thing. No, not the way the man works. It's driving him nuts they're not deporting more people, quote, unquote. He's angry that more people are not being deported. Tom Homan also not upset. He's unhappy. He's made his unhappiness unknown about the relatively low number of arrests and deportations, but he's got everything standing in his way. He's got radio stations broadcasting where he's at. He's got his agents in danger. He's got judges now working against him. He's got local officials working against him. Could you imagine the immense pressure he's under? And then he's got the cartels working against him, bringing us now full circle. The bombshell announcement, another one, besides the security clearances being revoked because Trump could be planning something mega here. And he can't have any of it leaking out. So there'll be more security clearances revoked here in the very near future. He's going to have to, because now things get a lot more dangerous. I don't know if you saw this article. You may or may not have seen it. RC-135 Rivet joint surveillance jet just flew an unprecedented mission off Mexico. Now, you've heard of some of these flights, but maybe not this one yet. 2 sorties in the past 48 hours alone, all looking at this area. It's a color-coded chart of the cartel activity in Mexico in 2024. The Sinaloa Cartel, Jalisco New Generation Cartel, Gulf Cartel, Northeast Cartel, La Familia, Juarez Cartel, so on and so forth. The red area is the Sinaloa Cartel. It's going to take special focus today. Here's one of the flights you may have heard of coming out of the United States Air Force, but they're not the only ones. He can't do that. Yes, he can. There is waters of which he can fly. They know very well what they're doing. This was the flight that so many heard of, one side of the Sinaloa Cartel. I'll tell you what this plane does. But it was this flight we're going to focus on now, the newest of them. Much different than flights before. So put it into perspective. You see here, these lines are where that flight went. And the border that they're watching, on top of the flight here that has already been flown. And it appears that this region is of special interest now, isn't it? But what does this region hold? Well, you see all these little marks here? Those are all the border crossings. And you see who controls the majority of those border crossings. The Sinaloa Cartel. Trump, to enforce immigration, to protect the agents trying to enforce the border and stop the drug trade, will need to stop a major force in Mexico. And so he flew a mission, watching analyzing, and listening. Because where does the majority of narcotics traffic flow in from? Well, you see right there, there's the region in the red box. And look where he just flew that mission. It's always a reason for everything. He promised to stop the drug flow into the United States of America, but this could mean something far larger. American military RC-135R Rivet Joint Surveillance Plane has been taking a good look at cartel positions all over the western coast of Mexico today, including Sinaloa. That was the western coast, but this mission wasn't the western coast, now was it? Oh no. Resulting in this article, of which the aircraft can geolocate and categorize the emitters sent out from those signals, because it can detect and interpret communications. It can listen to all those radios on the ground. It's going to find out what your day-to-day life looks like, where you're at, what you're doing, what you're maneuvering. Extensive communication array that allows data to be passed in near real time to nearby units in the field or to nodes globally for further exploitation and dissemination. There's the jet itself. Look at all those folks sitting in there listening in. Intercept and geolocating communication chatter patterns of life are being identified. Well, why would the Mexican president allow this? She's a communist, right? Communists like power. And who would control her power in Mexico? Who is the most powerful force in Mexico? You got it. Put it in the comments. I'll wait a second. Who is the most powerful forces in Mexico? There you go. None other than the cartels. And so now we're intelligence gathering. We're enforcing Tom Homan's efforts, and he's told you this. He's told you what's coming. And they're not alone. We anticipate that overall on the southwest border, active duty personnel will provide real-time situational awareness of persons, vessels, vehicles, and aircraft, and they'll work with U.S. Customs and Border Protection on operating level maintenance, movement, and staging of all assets and counter assets. But they're not alone. It's not only the Air Force. The Navy has their jet up in the air, also watching the southern border. You see how it's all coming together quickly? Why Trump has to secure the intelligence apparatus immediately? Why we need Kash Patel in place immediately? Why they're trying to stall it? Because they don't want to lose communication. They don't want to lose intelligence. They don't want to lose their security briefings. And what did Trump do? What did he do? He stripped them all. I shouldn't even say that. He stripped some. All is still to come. Just before the big game, making the announcements, getting ready for this Super Bowl shocker, right? Because what is he planning? Western Journal stating potentially. Surveillance jet makes unprecedented run along Mexican cartel coast. Is Trump preparing to strike? Well, I think we've been given the answer, haven't we?
How do you plan on using the military? Could they get involved in the violence if the cartels strike?
Yes, and we expect them to. We're taking money out of their pocket. They're not going to wait quietly, and that's why President Trump designated them terrorist organizations. I would send a warning to them. You heard of BOMBSHELL and you heard a soldier. The wrath of President Trump's going to come down. If you harm a BOMBSHELL agent or a soldier, the whole world's going to come down to you. President Trump is a strong president. He is strong enough, and he has the ability to wipe them off the face of the earth.
Wow. They can chuckle that away all they want, but I wouldn't be laughing so much. Oh, heck no, I wouldn't be laughing. Because Homan has backing. Most important backing you can have, President Donald J. Trump. But he's got other backing now, doesn't he?
If we find that they continue to fire at our border patrol and they continue to put fentanyl into our country, as the Secretary of Defense, are you permitted now to go after them in Mexico or wherever they are?
Brian, I don't want to get ahead of the president, and I won't. That's ultimately going to be his decision. But let me be clear, all options will be on the table. The military is shifting toward an understanding of homeland defense on our sovereign territorial border. That is something we will do and do robustly.
Long story short, make America badass again. How do you defeat an enemy? Well, these threats can go a long way because the threats have backing. Trump securing his intelligence apparatus, making sure that nothing leaks out. It already has. And Susie Wiles is sitting there watching in the background as Trump continues to maneuver. There's a lot more folks he needs to make sure stay silent because things are about to get a lot more sensitive. Big game, big announcements made just before. Shaking DC once again, and it's not going to stop, and we will be here to bring you every single update that makes a difference. Man, we love you all. Can't thank you enough for being here. Until next time, Godspeed and God bless. Justice Knight, signing out.